Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
On the troll.
Hello and welcome back to Senzo. We're back again. It is that time, guys. We're late. You know what? I had to watch that rubbish of my team, Barcelona. Yes, it's your time to laugh because yes, we lost to Chelsea. Well, you lose some, you win some. Today, Orlando Pirates won. At least that's a plus, a minus for the feeling that I'm getting from Barcelona. Did expect that, I have to say. It was expected, considering how our German stubborn coach is. I don't understand him. Like, I don't understand him sometimes, why he does not want to adjust his island. We're not saying don't press. I mean, all the teams are pressing, but this offside nonsense, and then you play Araujo. Out of all the players that we had, you play Araujo, a player that costed us against PSG, and he has done that against Chelsea freely. Very stupid defender that I don't understand why they keep him there, but I'm not here for football. I don't understand for the life of me, why don't we sell Araujo to Chelsea, because he's a Chelsea player? But it's fine. Right, we're here for this day today. Very sad day, but also a good day considering how things have been going in that court. There is no other way now but to see exactly who these police, in fact, the states as a whole, are. Clearly, it's getting there. It's getting there.
What I'm curious about is why did they let GWABINI go? And, why didn't they tell this situation of arresting him in court? Why was it just kept hush-hush in a secret? Those are two questions I have for the state right now.
Not surprising to hear that Mam Fundis was edited again. Mam Fundis. I don't know why they use that name. Mam Fundis. I don't know whether they undermine Abba Fundis or what. But yes, Mam Fundis.
GWABINI was pointing at her in court. That lady. And I was watching and I'm thinking, there's a lady who's
I'm sure
always
she's
there
proud
every
where
day.
she is. She's really proud. A woman who understands how to carry a baby for 9 months, and then for someone to come and waste that baby's years. In a sense, kill that baby while they are alive, breathing. A woman. A man, we understand. We understand because maybe we are created in that manner that we have that hardcore part of it. But a woman. And the bravery of coming to that court, knowing exactly that people know what you have done, and those people are coming to testify. The bravery. But it is all of it. It is there. All of it. It's there.
It was
for everyone to see.
day.
The minions and the minionians to also see. They can push all they push for, whether it's money or whatsoever. We don't care. But it is truthfully hurtful to hear what these people have been going through.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
I would say not being educated is a sin. No. I mean, Even those police are not as educated as much as they just grade 12.
I would say not being able to have access to a lawyer when you get arrested or abducted by the police. That is what had been the issue here. They chose their targets and they
Can you
chose their targets
believe it?
well. They chose their targets very well.
This is black on black.
Yes.
How much do you have to want to succeed for you to stumble on a black person, step on a black person for you to get up there? How much do you need? How much do, like, what's the difference between you and umuntu ovelayo uthwala ngabantu?
Taking complete advantage of the vulnerable just for you to get ahead.
It's painful what I watched in that court today. I couldn't even repeat. You know, normally I would watch and repeat again. Couldn't.
Yeah, GWABINI was very
Ukubona
emotional.
indoda endala eshadile, a married man, crying. And you tell me that is just an act. That is just a what, lemkulugudu. Hey, ngoba, hey.
Sato kwakuthiwa we're defending criminals.
Jeez, man.
All these years, locals it's haibo. This thing's not making sense. Haibo, can't why nenzi zinto kanje. Haibo. Turns out this is the modus operandi.
So the question is, for any case that these people have touched, were there ever an investigation done to actually show that these people are really working on something? Because by the looks of things, the names, if you read on all these names, somewhere, somehow, when it comes to someone who says I was forced, and they always have confession. Jesus, how many confessions can you get? You can't always get confession for each case. No, about good gangana.
How about
case confession?
How about investigations? How about conducting an investigation? How about going to people that were there at the crime scene as a start? How about have a smooth transition of dockets where you speak to the investigators that were there at the crime scene? You speak and communicate to the investigators that you are taking this case from.
I cannot believe that.
How about actually
what we can
investigate instead
brand
of
it
making
as
people
mediocrity.
Sign confessions and statements that they did not write allegedly? How's about that for
This
an
is just
investigation?
crazy, man. This is crazy. Because if there was never someone, if this was not in public, this was gonna go on and on and on and on and on and on and on for
It
years.
would have been wrapped up, this case, a long time ago, and they would have been found guilty and given life sentences. There's a judge I previously read here, Kutiwa, he made a mistake. He sentenced someone without even hearing their case. He ended up sentencing them over 100 years or something like that. Turns out there was a lot left to be desired. He didn't want to hear from the accused and what the accused had to plead and say for themselves. And he ended up like throwing in a lot of years.
Was that person ever fired?
No. In South African government, nobody gets fired, honey.
So they corrected him. He's still out there about to do the same thing.
Yes, about to do the similar.
What did he say when he found out what exactly happened? Did he have anything?
There was no hearing. There was no commission of inquiry. There was nothing held to have this judge explain themselves.
But do you remember that issue of names? Let us start perhaps there. Sifiso, GWABINI, Zungu, Nduli.
I remember.
Sifiso, Zungu.
How can I forget with the Zungu statement? Constable sees a Zungu statement. The whole confusion that was happening in that statement, and it was typed. The names were wishy-washy. Sifiso Ntuli Zungu. Sometimes they refer to him as Sifiso. It was just a lot going on.
It's crazy, man. But it's okay. All is alleged, I guess. All is alleged.
Well, court resumed this morning, and Nisi said that the 5 accused that have requested him to bring yesterday's issue, the serious allegations that were raised against them, with no specific indication as to who actually said that was alleged to have been said. Just before adjournment yesterday, there was a concern that was raised by the state that there was a whisper that came from the dog and assisting the witness on the box.
Who said that? Was it Mukhul?
It was Baloyi. It was Advocate Baloyi.
Who told
said
Baloyi?
that he heard
Was this the
whispers.
journalist?
He didn't reveal his source. As he was trying to stretch out and remember who the police officer he wanted to talk about was, after giving his description, then he mentioned the name Mohani. Nisi said that they are saying that creates a very uncomfortable dent in themselves. Even the court remarked that it was not for the first time happening, because even the court remarked that it was not the first time happening, because the court also said that on the testimony of Mr. Buthelezi, there were also some hand gestures that were made. And that some other people, their throats will be cut. He said that they're saying that the state doesn't have to come up with this open-ended allegation. They specifically have to indicate who is that person, who is the accused that actually whispered to this witness, and said that they're also saying that it was a gesture. Well, the courtroom is full of cameras, is what Nisi was saying, and let the cameras be scrolled back to identify the accused, this witness, to remember his name that he was trying to remember. But more importantly, they're trying to say that there are microphones all over the courtroom, specifically in the dock which they are seated. So there's microphones also where they're seated. This should have been easy enough. He said there's also a microphone that would have been able to pick up that whispering. So they are saying it's not fair to just come up with an allegation of that nature.
Which they had to address that nonsense.
Baloyi said that if it becomes an issue, the footage can be viewed as well as the recordings that will put the matter to rest. Well, the judge acted all brand new and was now asking if anybody accused they're accused of having whispered the name to Mr. Zungu. But they said that they put a record that there was a whisper coming from behind. And there was a long pause when the witness had to remember the name of the police officer. And he said they then put on record that there was a whisper. It becomes an issue. Or should this become an issue, the footage is there and it can be viewed. Well, the judge said, I don't think that's necessary. Why, Judge?
Why?
Why?
Why did he say
Why is
it
it
was
not
not necessary?
necessary?
Because it's not there. It's not there.
Why?
Because it's not there. They always view it if there's something that looks a bit fishy. It's not there.
They were able to find the gestures of Zungu, right? When Zungu was testifying, accused number 5. We didn't see anything, those of us who were watching the live stream.
No, we didn't.
But they got the footage of him doing those gestures, and they were laying some form of a complaint. This happened about 2 years ago while Constable Zungu was testifying on the stand. So the judge said, I don't think that's necessary. Even if I prefaced in my remarks by saying, if it is true. He said he prefaced his remarks by saying, if it is true. Okay.
When did he say that, if it's true?
He says that's what he said.
He said, I wouldn't be surprised. That's what he said.
If the accused in the dock say it is me, then it's fine. But I then said, if it is true, let's let that.
Yeah, because he knows it's going there.
He said, any one of you who whispered, Mr. Sibia, did you whisper? Mr. Ntanzi, he went to them one by one. Mr. Ntanzi, Mr. Mngube, Mr. Mapisa, Mr. Ntuli, did you whisper? Did you whisper? If any of you has ever whispered, you can volunteer, and save us. So he said he thinks that the master should rest there because even Mr. Baloyi, he doesn't know who whispered, so the matter should just be put to bed there. He said that there's a whisper from behind. He was actually saying that Baloyi did not specify, which is something, Mr. Anonymous, you mentioned yesterday, that Baloyi didn't actually specify who told him that somebody whispered. And then the judge was okay to proceed, and he said, I suggest we leave it as it is. The court didn't hear that, the court didn't see that, until he brings it up again in a couple of months while we've forgotten and thought that the court didn't record it, but it will be stated.
It's on the record. Baloyi put it on the record, so it must be investigated.
So Mdizi asked for indulgence with accused 1 and 3, and when he returned, he said that they are saying that this is not the first time that such allegations are made. They are arguing that this might have a huge impact on the outcome of the case, in as much as they respect the court's decision, but let this be left at that. They are insisting because this is not for the first time. They are requesting with due respect to put this matter at rest, rather than it just be swept under the carpet. These are their words, is what Mnisi was saying. And he said that they requested that the matter be thoroughly envisaged so that it becomes clear that it never happens from what they are saying. Because the state is saying that could have happened, but because there's a perception that the issue must just be swept under the carpet, in their minds, this will be a hanging sweat all over their head. So they request that let this issue be put at rest by hanging presents to all the media facilities that are here, so that the truth, is made available and it's there on record, so that everyone can be satisfied that indeed it never happened or indeed it happened.
How can you stand up? I'm sorry to say, how can you stand up and say, let it be on the record that the witness doesn't remember, and then all of a sudden you stand up and say, oh, someone whispered? I mean, come on, we are not kids here. We are not kids here. There people are just pushing the panic button so that everything, come on, man.
Well, the judge said that the court has ruled that we must leave it at that because this court doesn't have any proof that the thing happened. He said, I don't have proof that it happened. Even Mr. Baloyi doesn't have proof that it happened. He said that there was sound from behind, and this court is fair. I will never take such a minute thing into consideration.
But what you said is important. What you said, you are literally saying that these witnesses that come to that stand and testify against the state, they are threatened. That's what you are saying. After Baloyi had made a submission about these all things that were happening on the back side of this story, this Senzo case, because they were telling you that these people are threatened, they are afraid, they cannot come and testify, and then you are coming and things like that. Come on, man. Come on, we are not kids here. All of a sudden, you are innocent, you are okay, the court does not see it, but you have been talking about it.
Well, he said this court is busy with evidence as to whether this alleged charge had been proven beyond reasonable doubt, not that somebody drank Kool-Aid or what have you, please. Mr. Mnisi asked what the court had just said to be interpreted to the accused. The judge said, yeah, this is a serious case. Hi. This is why I say this court is very broad-minded. There was a fight here in this court. I've never seen a fight in court. I never interfered. I never made any finding. Nothing, because it doesn't affect this case. Okay, let's start, please. There's a bit of a wait there because the head interpreter needed to sort out the matter of another interpreter in another court.
As usual.
So there was a bit of a wait. But when he came back, Nisi wanted clarity on the second year of study. He continued his his examination in chief of GWABINI. He wanted that clarity regarding the second year. When he said he was doing a second year in 1988, that's when the last time he saw Constable Zungu, and they were still kids. So Nisi
second year kahle kahle basisisho njalo thina ngekhazi kuthiwa u2 second year which is second year, but in Zulu we besisha ngokuthi second year. Second year is grade 2.
So it's not standard 2.
No, it's grade 2, not grade 4.
So he was saying that it was referred to as sub B at the time. So Nisi then said you were able to remember that one of the police officers after you were taken out of your house was Mr. Mokhani. GWABINI said yes. There were 3 officers, and then in the motor vehicle as we left from the house where I was sleeping, when we were about to get to the main road leading to Naledi Mall going up to the police station, they went through a police tablet and asked me if I knew these 2 ladies. He first started that it was a phone, but then he said it was a big phone, which means it was a tablet. They showed him a picture of 2 ladies, and he said that he knew those 2 ladies. GWABINI said that it is not the gadget that was placed on his chest, because Mdisi was then asking for clarity, because yesterday he mentioned that there was a white police officer who put some type of gadget on his chest while he was getting arrested, and he said no, it's not the same one. He said the tablet looked like it was a Samsung branded one. Mdisi then said they then scrolled through the tablet and show you pictures of certain ladies. What did you say about the ladies? And GWABINI said, I said that they are from my side of the family, the Sibia family, and yes, I do know them. GWABINI said that he did not know the police officers at the time, but when they got to Primrose, he heard the name of that police officer.
So what is it with these ladies?
I don't know. Right now, the state has been very hush-hush, but they did mention 2 particular names to Muzisbia. Do you guys recall that, of 2 ladies? And
did one of these ladies maybe perhaps, is there a lady that they got that says is Bia's? Oh man.
And then there's also
it hit me. You know what?
What?
Could there have been an attempt to create a sister for Sbia?
Do you remember MC Menzisto narrating what the family had told him?
What did he say?
He said that there were 2 particular sisters who were beaten black and blue by the police. They went through their bank records and they had accused these particular sisters of receiving huge amounts of money from their brother. And then they were asking that, oh, this money must be the one that you were spending after you killed Senzo. And they beat them up.
So probably they got the statements again from these people, the confessions.
Perhaps those statements are there from these particular 2 sisters. And apparently the sisters were around Muzi in around 2018, 2019, when he was busy being followed and stalked by police. The sisters were there around him. Apparently they were also based in Tembisa. So yeah, we are about to get shocked as well with some statements that are said to allegedly been written by them. I have a feeling that the state, whenever desperation,
because they always get statement.
Yes,
it is like that, man. These people are so good, such that everywhere they go, everything they touch confesses. They are like God.
They just see them and they're like, let me confess. Let me confess my sins, Father. I did this, I did that, I did that.
My brother did this and this and that.
Father, I need to come clean. It's like a father at Roman Catholic, this investigation team. Everybody, when they see them, like, Father, I would like to confess my sin. It's so strange. It's so strange. There's no actual investigations that are done here. Everything is just Oh, they saw me and put tantamount to confession. Everybody tantamounts to confessions in this case. So he said that they asked where they lived, and he said, back home. Just when I finished saying that, they put a plastic bag over my head and I was handcuffed. Yo, same modus operandi, eh? We've heard this before. It's not exactly brand new. Huh? So Mnisi then said, where were you sitting? And Gwabini said, I was seated at the back. Where was Mohani in the seating arrangement? And Gwabini said that he was actually the driver of the red car. What then happened? They removed the plastic when he was making movements as if he was losing breath now, starting to lose breath and suffocating. He said they removed that plastic. And he said, I thought we would go to the Vosloorus police station, but we went to some municipal area place. Nisi then said, you were trying to gasp for air. And Gwabini said, I was now at a stage when I was unable to take my breath back. I was unable to breathe. And then Nisi said, so you got to a municipality area. Do you know what it's called? And Gwabini said, it's a spacious place at the municipality area. Just after they removed the plastic, they said to me, I'm still going to talk. And I asked, what am I going to talk and say? Because I know nothing. They said, when I saw kuluma. That's investigation.
That's how they deal with investigation.
That's investigation in a democratic South Africa. This is how they investigate. So they then started asking me, how did Senzo Meyiwa die?
I'm gonna say this. When you hear white people glorifying a black person for doing a job, you must question that person. Something is not right.
Wrong.
That's how we've been played.
Means that they are a perfect leki, they're a perfect errand boy, they're a perfect errand person.
Exactly. If they want to attack you as a person, as a black person, they use that person.
Yes.
Which becomes black on black. You know what they call it?
What do they call
Malcolm X?
What did you call it?
I don't know if I can say that word. But in the house. And then there's one outside.
Or field workers and house workers. Let's just rather say that. Field workers and
then
house
that
workers.
person is normally a house worker.
Master, we are sick.
Is master, we are sick type of a person. And such people, because they forget who they are, they normally apply the same brutality. Even in their judgments.
They exert it even worse.
And they are worse because they are trying to fit in.
Yes. And they are the most dangerous. They are the most dangerous people.
Very dangerous. They have no mercy.
They are more dangerous than the actual oppressor, in my opinion, because you never see them. By the time you realize, you're already betrayed by them. By the time you wake up, you are thinking you're together in the struggle. Turns out, no, you are all alone while they've been updating the oppressor with your every move. And then by the time you wake up, you are dead. And they have no conscience. That's another thing about them. They have no conscience. They are actually more dangerous.
It's like that situation when you are trying to fit in. Do you understand? You end up doing extra.
And you lose yourself.
Because you want to show the other people that you are actually one of them.
And then you lose yourself in the process.
Be careful of Master, we are sick.
And they're everywhere.
Master, we are sick.
They're the reason why, even at work, you have to shut up.
We understand. We need to understand. There is no. That's how they always are.
What do you think about the political space and the political fears and everything else?
When they ask you those questions, no comment.
How's your family? How's your family? How's everybody
no
doing? No
comment.
are your plans for the next 5 years? No. Dangerous people. So be careful, y'all. Be careful. These kind of people are lurking everywhere. And they look like you. He said that the mistake that I made was to say I know nothing about soccer and soccer players. GWABINI is saying, I didn't know anything about soccer. I didn't know anything about soccer players. That was the mistake right there that he feels he made. He said they instructed me to get out of the car. I got out and I was instructed to sit down. To sit in a position where my legs were stretched out and my hands handcuffed at the back. This reminded me of Muzi. And how he was demonstrating that they told him how to sit at the inspection in Loco. He said, after I got out of the car, Butilis is the one that came to me while my hands were at the back and pressed his boots on my handcuffs. Oh my God. He said, I was also kicked like a drum filled with water.
You see that question where Dido, I'm sorry, it's the backup of politicians. You know, when you are an era of politicians, a rainbow.
Right now, they are being unraveled at the
you
ad hoc
become
and
you become untouchable.
And the Matlanga.
That's all I can say. Yeah, so then you start doing things that are out of character. Because you know that they've got your back, you've got their back, most.
And you have done very, very much things that you shouldn't have been doing for them. So somehow you feel like you are bonding.
Yeah, one of them again. Yes. You become one of them. Become the gang.
Because you know so much. And then you take it overboard, sana. You go.
You use it to your advantage.
So GWABINI showed the marks on his hands. So he has marks as well. They did to him allegedly what they did to his brother as well. Because his brother was also saying, here are the marks. I've had them from 2016. From 2020, my apologies. Ever since I got arrested and handcuffed like that. Nisi asked to have a look at what those injuries were. So he knows exactly what to put on record. Nisi actually asked Babu Jonas, the interpreter there, to put the extent of the injuries on record. And the judge had no problem with it. The interpreter said that there's a mark on his left arm, which he says was a result of being kicked. And Mnisi asked that they measure that scar because it is a very big scar. Mnisi handed over a measuring device to the interpreter to measure the scar, and the interpreter measured it to be 1.5 centimeters. So Mnisi said that the injury, the scar on the left arm, is a very horrible one. Perhaps these injuries are some of the reasons why maybe, just maybe, they ended up letting him go. What do you think?
Maybe, yes.
They are too out there. They are too loud.
Yes.
There's no judge who would have ignored them.
Yes.
So the surface was made.
So he had to go back through the back door.
Yes, he had to go back through the back door. The 2000 in pocketed, and then what?
And yeah. By the way, yes, the SAPS, they can grant bail, but for Schedule 1 offense.
Schedule 1.
Less serious crimes. We're talking about
Petty.
your common
crimes.
I don't want to say this word, but it has theft under 2,500, malicious damage to property, drunk and driving, minor fraud cases, trespassing,
and they
all
also
this.
give you a receipt while they give you that bail. You know, they don't just give
But
money.
do you think this guy was held for such after the Matran situation?
They take
I
him
think
to the graveyard.
I think sometimes when bad things happen to you, you think that you focus on that pain.
Yes.
But as you are saying, Emil, maybe the scars could be the only thing that saved this man. By now, we would be having a gun that has killed 10 to 20 people. Look at how this man has been sold to us as this dangerous man
who deals with weapons, with very dangerous weapons.
And that's where it was going.
Who's an inkabi, who's not employed, who doesn't have a job, or he knows is to kill for a living. That's the portrayal of.
Here comes a man is telling us
from the
that.
State.
Here comes a man. He's in court saying, "I'm working. You're wasting my time.
I actually have a job, and this entire case is interfering with my employment." And where at the time they picked him up and he was maybe said to be unemployed, he was actually doing something with his life. He said he was using a bicycle to transport cases just to make money, to live, to feed himself. He wasn't sitting there idle, like how they are describing him, that he was getting his money from killing people.
That's how we had a view of Uzum. GWABINI. We thought it's the serious
state that put him like that. Through the evidence of Constable Zungu, even the state itself not wanting to call him to come and testify, and always limiting the description of going on record to say that, he's a dangerous fella. Remember they said in Tanzi,
but do you guys,
dangerous man.
This is a classic. Yes, he was actually transporting. He was supplying guns, firearms to other. Yes. Seeing all that. Yes, that's how Tanzi was portrayed.
Confidential cases that he's involved in. Those are very confidential cases.
Classified stuff type of vibes.
Running.
GININDA said that.
Running. Impilo munye umntwana.
It's not enough. Not enough that you have taken their job.
It's not enough.
It's not enough that you have taken them away from their families. It's not enough.
It's not enough that you've kept him behind bars. Who knows, he could have been married as well by now. But no, he's stuck in there, like a high-profile criminal.
We were told about Marikana stuff. Yes, you remember that?
Yes, even Marikana.
Hey, there's
a firearms. He was selling firearms there at Marikana. Yeah.
You know what is painful? If this whole picture that is painted here, and people don't understand. You know, people always say, hey, these people are criminals. You know what is painful about this picture? This picture closes big cases also. Because let's talk about the Marikana issue, for example. If it was pinned to Tanzi, eventually whoever did whatever that they did at that Marikana is scot-free.
Yes.
And what happens to that person?
They continue.
Because on a normal, on most of the time when they do that, one can almost assume that they know the person who did it.
They do.
There could have been a conversation prior to say, find someone who's gonna
take the fall.
Yes. That's what I'm thinking. They don't just go around and doing these things to cases that there is that feeling, you know, that if someone makes someone take the fall, there's probably knowledge of who did it.
Yes. So he said that the surface where he was made to sit was made of bricks and concrete. It was actually a pavement. After clarity there from Advocate Nisi, GWABINI said that he was rolled from where he was standing to where Dr. Sibanda was seated, measuring the distance of how far they rolled him, like a drum of water. He said for the rolling, they had placed a plastic over his head and his position was now on his back facing upwards. At the time the plastic burst, he could no longer get up. Nisi estimated the distance to be plus minus 5 meters. And he asked him, when you get rolled on that pavement area, you said they rolled you like a drum full of water. Were they using feet to do that? What were they using? GWABINI said that they were using feet and kicking him. He indicated how they did it. He demonstrated there in court. Of course, we have been denied the image, the footage. And Mnisi said that it was trampling and pushing him at the same time. Well, he asked, were they saying anything? And GWABINI said that they were asking me as to Muzi's whereabouts on the day of Senzo's killing. I told them I don't know anything about soccer and soccer players. Now, Mnisi said, with the rolling business, as they were rolling you like a drum full of water, where was the plastic? And GWABINI said that he woke up wet, actually. The plastic was no longer there. They had poured water on him. So he said that the last time that he checked was when the plastic was over him and it was like he had fainted. He said when he regained consciousness, he was wet, and the person who had a 5-liter was Mabena. Nisi then said, you said in the vehicle you were requested to get into the said vehicle. You could remember Mohani Buthelezi, this Buthelezi who trampled on your calves. Was he in the same car as you? And GWABINI said he was in a different car. He started assaulting him at the municipality area. GWABINI confirmed that Buthelezi trampled on his calves in full view of the rest of the police officers as they stood there and did nothing about it. So Mnisi then said, let's talk about Buthelezi. Was he also a passenger in the same vehicle? And GWABINI said that he was using another vehicle. He started beating him at that municipality area. The other one that he did not know who put him inside the car had placed the plastic over him. So Mnisi then said, this Buthelezi, as part of your observation, was he part of the police or was he something else? And GWABINI said he is a police officer. He was actually wearing traffic cop uniform. And Mnisi said, are you able to describe him? He said, are there any features with him that you'd say with this feature it was definitely him? I'd never go and you'd never go wrong. He said that there is quite a lot he remembers, specifically like how he looked. And Nisi said, yes, I need that description of how he looked, his body, color, skin, complexion and all those things. And GWABINI said that he had a gold tooth and he had unclear skin, rather rough skin. He described him as dark skin, has some light spots on his hands and light on his upper lip. So the tone of the upper lip, there's some lightness on his lips. So Mnisi, then there is a Buthelezi who testified at length in court with regard to the arrest of accused one in the trial within a trial. And he also gave testimony that he has been involved in the investigating team of this case. He has been assisting them in clearing the road, but specifically with the arrest of accused one. But he basically fits the description. I don't know whether it's that one, but that description you're giving, it fits him exactly. So Nisi here was hinting that that description that GWABINI has just given of Buthelezi is similar to the Buthelezi who came to court to testify.
Yes.
So Baloyi then said, on what basis is counsel saying that he's fitting the description that is given by the witness? Nisi apologized and said no, he can't give evidence, so he withdrew that statement.
Nice one, yes.
But he assisted us in getting a picture, He assisted those who were struggling to see Buthelezi or go to Buthelezi. Who is he? At least now we have one or two things. So Nisi then said, now you say when you regained consciousness, you realized you were wet all over your body and Mabena had something in his hand. He was carrying a 5-liter container. You realized your clothes were wet, and then what happened? GWABINI said that he cried out loud that there was a car that was passing by the robot, a particular vehicle. It actually stopped. There was a person who was even peeping and checking, and said that there is a person checking there. They placed him inside the car and they took him to a cemetery after that whole situation of the person checking, because they even told him that you're making noise. There's a person peeping now. He said they took him to a graveyard and assaulted him until 4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Nisi then said, are you able to describe that municipality area? The reason why I'm saying this is simply because this place of the municipality area also featured a lot in this trial. So I want you to give a description and a location of exactly where that place is in relation to the police station, if you know it, and other shops there as Fosloras, you know. GWABINI said, yes, it's close to the police station. The police station is further down and this place is up. Then there's the side where there's a ShopRite and a KFC and a Pep. GWABINI said he does not recall the other shops. But we can pretty much get a picture that it's the same spot where they went for the inspection in Loco.
Loco, yes.
The same spot where his brother is saying they also assaulted him there during COVID. So Mnisi then said, thank you. It reiterates no particular intelligence to realize what place you are referring to. And then he said to him, you cried very loud. Then some person had to stop their vehicle. Then what happened to that person? Did he come to you or just stopped and went away? GWABINI said he did not come to where I was. He was just peeping and saw someone getting assaulted. Then he went away. So that person perhaps saw, oh, it's the police. But then he could see that they were assaulting a person. But then maybe he just
where
felt
do you
like,
report the police? He was
you know,
like,
where do you report the police for assaulting a person? And what if Ngambela, you know, this person did something horrendous, and then, you know, you become puzzled. You become puzzled seeing police do such things. But in this case is now educating us that sometimes they don't have the right suspects. And they are doing this away from a police station. And if you have a right suspect, then why are you doing this away from a police station?
Exactly.
So Mnisi they said to you, there is a person that is aloof looking at you. GWABINI said, yes. Then what happened? He said, they took me. It was my first time in handcuffs. They put me in those handcuffs. He said it was for the first time in his entire life that he had handcuffs on. He said they lifted me with the cuffs. They placed me in the back of the vehicle without telling me where we were going. They put me in the same vehicle, and Mohani was still the driver, sitting in the same arrangement. GWABINI said we went towards Chris Hani Mall, took a left turn and towards the cemetery. And then Nisi asked him, what time would it have been by the time you were treated that way? Were you at the municipality area? And GWABINI said it was around 12 midnight going towards 1 a.m. Nahana, at the witchy hours of the night, they taken to a graveyard. Can't these people banjani now? Can't they? What happened to good old fashioned, let's go to the police station? Now you're taking people at graveyards.
Obvious, you can see they were, by the looks of things, they were avoiding anything that would have evidence.
This is scary, man. This is so scary. Mnisi then said, you arrived at the cemetery and then what happened? GWABINI said, I was taken out of the vehicle. They were talking to someone over the phone saying this person doesn't want to tell the truth. Nisi then said, and then GWABINI said they assaulted me up to a stage that I kept quiet. I stopped crying. When I took note of the time at the police station at Primrose, it was about 20 past 4. They were writing down at the police station and took pictures of me. When I got to the cells in Primrose, I asked the person that I found there for the time, and they told me that it was 5 a.m. Then he asked me where I came from, and I explained to him what had happened. So with this particular, with GWABINI in particular, they did not do that whole thing of placing him in a single cell. So Mnisi asked for a short adjournment, stating that he was affected by the description of this torture. Who wouldn't? He said he's not a fan of such evidence that is like torture based. And I got it. I was also overwhelmed. I was like, I cannot imagine. I cannot even begin to imagine what he was going through, his mind, what he was going through, being taken to a graveyard in the middle of COVID. in the witchy hours of the morning, being asked about a crime that you say, I don't know anything about it. Whatever happened to going to the police station? This is the reason why people are also calling for these cameras, because interrogations are recorded. In the States, there are footages of interrogations of people. There's no need to use violence if you've got evidence against somebody. There's no need. You just tell them, this is what we see. This is what we have. This is, you were seen doing this and this and this and this and that. And you bring them the evidence. There's no need to be using all of these tactics if the person, you've actually done your due diligence and you've investigated. So they just, I don't understand this. This is just so wrong. Like, it's just so wrong. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. It's actually scary. It's like we're still pre-1994. Then after the short adjournment, Mnisi said, this injury that you showed the court, the one in your arm, where did you sustain that injury? And GWABINI said it actually happened at the municipality area. And then you arrived at the cemetery, Mnisi said. You said in June. GWABINI said it was winter, actually, June 2020. And Mnisi said you were wet, you've got that horrible injury on your left arm, it's in the middle of the night. Tell us what happened at the cemetery. And GWABINI said, I was told to get out of the vehicle and made to sit down. They were speaking on the phone, it was a loudspeaker. And Mnisi was asking, how was the place, the surface that you were placed at, where you were made to sit down? And GWABINI said it had small stones, and there was also a tree close by. Then he was on the phone, and he said that this phone was actually placed on loudspeaker, and he could identify who it was on the other line of the phone. And Mnisi said, you wish for the court to go and see this place? And GWABINI said, very much so. So it seems like there's another inspection in local looming of the cemetery. Gabanga. Then they'll come and deny. Oh no, we didn't do that. We didn't. Yeah. Well, GWABINI said it was at that point that I responded that I knew nothing and I could recognize the voice. After I told them that I could actually recognize that voice, they assaulted me. He said the voice was that of Constable Zungu. Yeah, ne?
So Zungu lo wakhona alalela. Ingane yakhe ibhonyo. What do you call ingane yakhe?
Hi. Yeah. This is beyond evil. Kuri, if he was able and capable of selling his entire family, he would sell it. Ne?
Yeah.
Mnisi then said, and this was in June 2020, GWABINI said, yes, he last spoke to Sizwe Zungu, remember, in 2019 at Dev's wedding. And he said that they spoke there. It was before his actual arrest. GWABINI said that from that, he said that he could hear that it was Zwe's voice. He refers to him as Zwe, Constable Zungu. He calls him Zwe. And Mnisi said, how did they assault you? GWABINI said, I was seated and my hands were cuffed at the back, and they appeared, the one at the back I could not see, and they were seated in a double cab which was open, these police officers. He said, I was made to sit down, This particular one covered his face with the plastic bag, the same plastic in an open field, a cemetery. He said the only source of light that was available there was the light coming from the cars in the vehicles. So Mnisi asked him, so the headlights of the vehicles were on? And GWABINI said yes, but they were dimmed. And Mnisi asked them, what then happened? Did you see who the plastic, who covered you with that plastic over your head? GWABINI said the person did it behind him. They were seated at the back of the bakkie, so he could not see the person. And GWABINI said what happened was that the plastic was tightened and he fell on the side, not on the side where he was injured. and then that plastic bag got loosened. And he said that there was a man by the name of Buthelezi. He said, I said to this particular man, you are killing me. Then he said, yes, we are going to kill you because you are also hiding the killers. Nisi then said, and then what happened? GWABINI said they then removed the plastic and instructed me to stand up, and they said we must leave. GWABINI demonstrated how they covered his head with that plastic. He said they covered the entire face up to his neck. He said that it felt like he couldn't breathe. He even urinated on himself. GWABINI said, that's when I said, you are going to kill me. And they said, yes, because I was hiding the killers. Nisi then said, how did it feel when they put that plastic over you? Was it painful or manageable or what? And GWABINI said it was painful. And up to this point where you told as to your status there, where you've been treated, how were you being treated? Were you being treated like a witness or a suspect? GWABINI said they never told me anything. Nisi then said, except for putting the plastic bag over your head, what else did they do if there is anything there at the cemetery? And GWABINI said they assaulted me. Nisi then said, tell us about the assault. How were you assaulted? GWABINI said the time they placed the plastic, I told them that they were killing me. They then said that I was hiding the killers. They removed the plastic. Maphumulo then came from the front and kicked me with his knee on my chest. Nisi then said that is known as the pressure point. GWABINI said that the air actually closed up in his chest. He said, I then asked again, why are you assaulting me? Are you assaulting me because of this person whose voice I have now identified? Then they said, ungenaphi uhlanganaphi wena nalokho? How do you enter? How is that any of your business? And if I'm able to recognize that voice, he said they lifted him and put him in the Red Golf. No wonder why the AVLs of the Red Golf never made it to court. And they are never going to make it to court.
They couldn't.
This Red Golf was busy in 2020. June and May and July. So Nisi then said, before we got into the golf, whilst at the cemetery, you told this court that another form of assault that happened, there was when Mr. Maphumulo hit you with his knee on the pressure point. That's on your sternum. The bone here. Call it a sternum. He said there is any other form of assault that happened there. GWABINI said no. There was nothing else. He could see that he was losing his breath. Then from there, Nisi said, they said stand up and get into the golf. And GWABINI said yes, they said we are leaving. They did not tell me again where we were going. We then went to the police station at Gold Spot. They made me sit in a chair inside the police station. The Gold Spot is in Vosloorus. The police station is close to the municipality area where he was being assaulted. Well, Nisi then said, I can tell you that the name again featured a lot in the course of this trial. Then what happened? And GWABINI said we got inside, they asked for a chair and they were filling forms. He said that the way they were filling them, they were on the floor. From what I could pick up, it's almost like there were no tables. So GWABINI then said they then took out the same firearm that they tried to shove under my bed, and they said, this is the firearm. This is your firearm. And I said, there's no way I would travel from home with this firearm, yet Muzi told me that the police are looking for me. Then they took the phone from him. He said a certain police officer gave Muzi the phone to call him. He said the number was starting with 073. And when Muzi was about to tell him why the police were looking for him, they then took the phone away from him. Nisi then asked what happened then. GWABINI said they wrote down and took photos of him. So what did you use, Nisi asked, to take these pictures? And GWABINI said they used the phone and they never explained to me why they were taking my pictures. Nisi then asked him to proceed. GWABINI said they were taking pictures from different directions. They then brought something where he had to put his thumbprints, or his thumbprints were taken. Then they gave him a cloth to wipe his hands and said that they were leaving again. This is Vosloorus police station. Now, up to this point, Mnisi asked, was there any police that was not part of the entourage you were with? The local SAPS members from Vosloorus police station, did any member from them come to attend to you? And GWABINI said there were 2 of them where his thumbprints were being taken and they were in uniform. GWABINI then continued and he said that he told them that he was wet. He was asking to go change at his place of residence. Remember, he'd been poured with water. He had peed on himself. He was wet on a cold winter night.
Let's press the like button, guys, please. Difficult as it is, please press the like button.
They then told him that he thinks that they are playing. Well, Nisi said, who did you direct that request to? And GWABINI said to Buthelezi, he's the person I was there with. He was there when my thumbprints were being taken, directing me on how I should take them. GWABINI said that I was wet. I left with them. I didn't know what that place was, Primrose. He said when we got to Primrose, it was already Tuesday morning. He stayed for the entire Tuesday at Primrose. Then on Wednesday night around 11, the police officer that was driving the red vehicle came back. Nisi asked, what did they take? Or, what did they take? Take it step by step, GWABINI said when I got to Primrose, there were 2 cars, a red one and a double cab. There were no other vehicles. He said I was left in the car. They got out of the car and entered inside, and there were women who were filling in affidavits at the front of this police station. So I'm thinking he was talking about CSC here. They talked to them, then they returned to me. They never said anything to me at Primrose. They told me to get out of the car and enter inside the Primrose police station. They tested me for corona at the time. They used the items, inserting them in my mouth, nostrils, checking as to whether I had the virus. Then the handcuffs were removed. Nisi then said, now you are mentioning the time of June 2020, when we were attacked by corona. It was in the midst of corona. And GWABINI said yes. Asked if he had his mask on from Vosloorus police station, the municipality area, up until the graveside, whether he had, remember it was mandatory at the time to have a mask on. GWABINI said no, he did not have it on. So Mnisi then said, did any one of the police who were involved with all these activities ever offer you a mask? GWABINI said no one. And Mnisi said, those ladies at CSC, they tested you, right? Then what happened? GWABINI said they then went to the cells to open for me. The police officer who was the driver of the red vehicle is the one who opened the cell for him. This is Mohani. Mohani is also placed as somebody who opened the cells for Ntanzi from police station to police station. Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
There were no police officers filling in occurrence books, actually admitting and opening for these particular detainees. Mohani was the one doing it, which is why I keep saying with Kretcha's case, what sold them or what got them to lose the trial within a trial was the occurrence book. There's a police officer who had written that is it Desai? He was admitted with injuries. He was beaten. And he told him that he got beaten. And that police officer wrote that on the occurrence book. So now, come 2020, do you think they would allow to have random police officers filling in occurrence books and admitting the people that they had allegedly kidnapped? Think about it. Which is why Mohani was the one actually opening and closing the cells and going to the occurrence book, possibly writing there, admitted with no injuries.
Yes.
Think about it. So if that happened with Kretsch's case, that people, don't you think they would receive instructions to not have anybody write anything on the occurrence book if they're not writing it themselves? Think about it. So Mnisi then said that he wanted to know who it was. GWABINI had forgotten him again, and Mnisi asked if it was the same police officer who drove from the time he was taken from his place. Is it the one who drove him to the municipality area? GWABINI said yes, but he couldn't remember Mogani's number. He struggles to remember Mogani's name. Right, so Baloyi then took an opportunity here and said, can it be placed on record that the witness cannot remember the name of the police officer who was driving the red vehicle? I don't know what this purple served. Like, I don't know whether he was hoping that he will never remember this police officer.
That was the hope.
Well, Nisi said he doesn't know what point of interest is that one. GWABINI asked to respond at this instance. He was really pissed off at Advocate Baloyi, you guys. What came after was a thunder. Directed at Advocate Baloyi and Sibanda. GWABINI asked to respond for himself. Baloyi should just sit down and stop the squatting nonsense. Just let the defense do an examination in chief. Because now the people that are feeling very hurt by what they did are testifying there, and you keep standing every 5 minutes. You are triggering them. And this is what happened with GWABINI. GWABINI was triggered. He said, he asked to respond for himself. He said, I would like for the Baba, the man there, not to rush me or go ahead of me in my testimony, because I came here at court 3 times going to his office. So he should not say anything, just like he said nothing when I went to his office. He said today he's asking me about a police officer. He should not disturb me, because as I stand here, I have been tortured, abused. I was assaulted. For something that happened in 2017. Constable Zungu came to my house in 2017. Nisi asked him, you are saying you've been 3 times in the office of the same prosecutors that are seated here. GWABINI said his office, he was sitting with the very same gentleman who's sitting next to him, as well as the lady sitting behind them. Nisi asked if he was referring to Dr. Sibanda. GWABINI said yes. Nisi said he will give him an opportunity to come to that. GWABINI said that there's a lot that he actually wanted to say. These people played him. Even now, his job is going to come to an end over something that had nothing to do with him. GWABINI said, I'm employed. Just because Muzi had to admit to something he didn't know. I'm not defending him. I don't stay with him all the time. But they were force-feeding me, shoving it down my throat. When he did that, I will detect some kind of shame, some kind of. No, they were laughing. Usibanda, no, Baloyi. It's a kiki. Mr. Anonymous interprets it differently. But I'm like,
I saw people who were embarrassed.
You saw people that were embarrassed. I was like, what is funny, guys?
We react different. Others, they try to show a brave face. But I saw people who were embarrassed.
I would have buried my head in shame. I would have not even tried to look at the person. I would have looked the other way. Because what is this? They're looking at him. And the more they do that, the more angry he becomes. Gwabini said I was supposed to be dead because they said my legs were on both sides. If it happens that I die, I won't deny that I will die or I will be arrested. It's fine if they can arrest me. It's enough now. They played me. I didn't even know what I did wrong to them. They don't even know me. My grandfather was here. It means they are after the Zungu family specifically on this matter about, is it this matter about the Zungus or the Meyiwas? At this point, I started hearing a tremble in Gwabini's voice, and I could state that, you know what, he's becoming emotional. So Mnisi then said, now there are people you are saying it doesn't matter if you die. Who is that? Who's saying that? Gwabini said it's Gininda and this lady, pointing at a lady in court.
Can you imagine fearing a lady that you would not fear on a normal day? Can you imagine fearing someone that you would not fear should they be stripped of everything else?
And I'm suspecting this lady is Mohola. She's always in court every day. The cameras are not picking her up, but she's there. And one has to wonder, if she's there in that case every day on a daily basis, who's investigating? Is her job attending the Senzo Meyiwa trial? Is she a prosecutor?
Errand.
What is going on? Well, you know, Nisi told him that they'll come to that, and he noted that the witness seemed to be overwhelmed by emotions and asked for a comfort break. Well, after the long adjournment, Gwabini was ready to continue and started at the Primrose police station. He said that his thumbprints were taken at Vosloorus police station, and at Primrose is where he was checked for corona and stuff and put in cells. He said they released him on Wednesday night. The driver is the one who released him and took him to Mamfundisi, pointing at Mohola. Nisi said, is there anything significant that happened there that you wish to bring to the attention of this court? Gwabini said, I asked for a phone from one of the female officers that were there. I asked that they bring me a jersey because I found out from the person I found there in the cells that we were at Primrose in Germiston. So I requested for a jersey because I was cold. Bomokhani found him wearing a jersey and they said to him, you're wearing a jersey overnight. Who knows that you are detained here? So this is also another demonstration of how these police officers did not want the people that they detained to be found, which explains them moving them from police station to police station to police station to police station, moving them around different various police stations. And I had a feeling that they are doing this so that their loved ones could not locate them or it would be difficult to find them.
Far away from the action.
Isn't that kidnapping?
It is. Sounding like kidnapping.
So Gwabini said that they said to him on the Tuesday evening, he was in the cells at the time, there's a person who brought him a jersey. The very same person who asked him about the jersey came back with Gininda and that lady. After Mokhani asked him about the jersey, he left and came back later. He came back alone and took him to Mamfundisi and Gininda on the same day. Gwabini said he was taken to an office in Primrose to make a statement where there was Brigadier Gininda and Mamfundisi, Mohola. So Mnisi then said, you said there is a process where the statement was taken where there was Gininda and Mohola. Gwabini said, yes. How do you know that that person who was there was Gininda? And Gwabini said he introduced himself as Umkapadia Gininda. Then he said he was with a lady affectionately known as Mamfundisi. And then Nisi said maybe he meant to say Brigadier. And then Gwabini was like, yeah, I didn't know that word.
Hey, today ukuhamba ukubona bafethu. Yozubiza abanye ezinye insizwa ngoqabathi. Hey bafethu kubi siyahleka ngoba ngihleka noma.
Know what a brigadier was? Even I wouldn't know it 2020. I didn't know it 2020 what a brigadier was. I'm learning with this case, this police terminology and legal jargon. But you didn't know what a brigadier was.
Insensitive, but you must laugh. If you don't laugh, you're gonna die of heart attack. The case is it's training.
Messed up.
It's training. Let's press the like button, guys. And what is also training is that us asking for likes. Guys, come on. Please press the like button. We're not sleeping. Our eyes are red. We have been preparing for you.
Please press the like button, guys.
And here we are. But we are asking nicely, guys. We are not forcing you. It's just... Yeah, it is tough, Afit. It is tough. It is tough. We are here. We are making sure that you get everything that you couldn't get during the day of 4 hours or 5 hours. So please just shower us with the likes. We appreciate it. And we appreciate those who have liked and pressed the like button. We love you. Thank you very much. Those who haven't, please remember to do so that we don't stop, guys.
Singaphela mandla. It's almost, we're close to the end. We're close to the end. Please, guys, press the like button. We don't want to get tired now. No, we've come too far. Well, Mnisi said, did they tell you what will be written on that statement and whether it will be made as a suspect or a witness? GWABINI said, no, because I wasn't even aware what that statement was for. What questions did they ask you prior to making the statement? Mnisi asked him. GWABINI said, I can't remember everything, but I will mention. They informed me as an arrested person I have rights, and they gave me a document to read, which I didn't. I just put it there. And then Nisi said, who was doing the talking? GWABINI said that GININDA. They were then going to write a statement about me. Then I asked why, because I know nothing about soccer. Then they asked me do you remember the South African goalkeeper? I said, I don't know soccer. I don't even watch soccer. They said it will be beneficial to write something down because Muzi had written something about me. They then showed me a pile of documents. So they were telling him that Bia, your brother, has written about you in a document, but they're not showing him.
They were trying to pin them against each other.
They were not showing him what he had written specifically. They just showed him documents. They're like, in these documents, your brother wrote about you. He said, I then said, whatever Muzi said about me, they must bring it. And I said, there's nothing I'm going to write. I have never been arrested. There's nothing that I know. They wrote down, then they told me to write an S. He said he wrote that S or signed. I told them that there is nothing I'm going to write. There's nothing that I know. Whatever Muzi wrote, to bring it to me and I will sign it. My brother wrote it without knowing if there is anything I know. So Mnisi then said, so you said they must transfer whatever Muzi said to you. Just put an S on the contents you did not know. GWABINI said yes. Mnisi asked him, why did you do that? GWABINI said, I just wanted to get out of there. I had had enough of how they were assaulting me. Same way with those who signed confessions they knew nothing about. They just wanted it to stop. Wouldn't you want it to stop?
I would.
And with it stopping, you don't want to die. I get it. So then this lady took out a phone, he said, and showed me Mafika. And I said, yes, I know him. He was wearing a red long sleeve t-shirt, black jeans, and a black suit Kavela. That was the end. And then a year went by. Nisi then says, so what ultimately happened to you? GWABINI said they took me back to the cell. This was Wednesday evening. And then what happened to you? Nisi asked him. GWABINI said on the Monday they came to fetch me. It was the red vehicle and the double cab. The other cars we met along the way because they were not there at Primrose. Then they popped up from behind at the Gold Spot. They arrived on Thursday morning to fetch me. They were traveling in a double cab. The one was driving a red vehicle and the other one a double cab. It was being driven by Mapumulo. They said I was leaving and being taken to the police station at Gold Spot. They said I'm going to greet the police station or greet the magistrate is how he understood it, meaning he'd be going to court. And he said he was being taken to appear in court. GWABINI said he never made it to court. He never greeted the magistrate. They came in, there are many cars. They went back and found some other gentlemen there. He said the police officer who was driving the red car, Mokhani, told him that he would have to pay a bail of 2,000 rands. GWABINI said he was taken to the back of the court. There is a waiting area for people waiting to be taken inside the court. As he was waiting, the gentleman who was driving the red Golf, aka Sergeant Mohani, he said an amount of 2,000 rands is needed for bail. So it's not enough beating him up. You are extorting him as well, allegedly.
Allegedly. Because there's always an explanation of some sort.
GWABINI then said, I told him that I did not have the money. I'm using a bicycle. I'm making ends meet. I did not have money. It was hard to just get together 350 in a day. I then called a brother of mine who is further down the shop to just borrow this money on my behalf. He said he asked for him to borrow me a phone. He told me that he did not have airtime. I then sent to one of my brothers, Lungisani, who stayed with me, or who stayed within the house. I then asked Lungisani to go to my brother and take that money. Indeed, Lungisani got the money and came with the money. He also used the back entrance and came to the bank entrance where I was with these particular police gentlemen. So Mnisi then said, the gentleman who was prepared to give you a phone says to you, I don't have airtime. How do you manage to find airtime in that other phone? Well, Lungisani, he said, on the issue of airtime, there were people, right, who came to me after hearing that I was at Gold Spot. And Lungisani is one of those people. He said that they came from the hostel just across called Emazulwini. So
Emazulwini.
Just to see him and find out as to what happened. They then said with the money that they gave him that he should buy fat cooks, amagwinya. But he did not do that. Instead, he bought airtime because he wanted help or assistance to get out from where he was. GWABINI said that he loaded the airtime into the phone of the person who lended him the phone to make this phone call. He called his brother from the shop, Tengizwe Mabaso. He asked that he lend him 2,000 rands. Lungisani got the money and gave it to him. And while he was still in that waiting area, GWABINI said that he gave Mohani that 2,000 rands. Without greeting a magistrate, he was released. To this day, they never arrested him again. So GWABINI detailed how he was made to pay that 2,000 rands for his release without appearing in court. Nisi then asked him, so Mohani came to you and said that the court will need 2,000 rands bail, and that's before you appeared in court, which means you got that money and you gave it to Mohani. GWABINI said yes, and you never got a receipt or documents, and Mohani took the money. GWABINI said yes. Nisi said bail is fixed by the court unless if it's a police bail. Even if it is a police bail, you are entitled to a receipt. GWABINI said he never got anything. Mohani took that 2,000 rands. Nisi then said, they then took you to court. Were you at any stage appraised of the charges you'd go and face at court? GWABINI said they never mentioned it. GWABINI finally confirmed that Mohani is actually the one who was driving him in that red car all the way through. And Mnisi said, and then you were released. GWABINI said, yes, I went home to the hostel. Remember, Mnisi said that you told the court that your first encounter with the police there by the municipality area, you sustained a horrible injury on your left arm. And GWABINI said yes. And Mnisi asked them, were you medically attended? Did they bring that one to the attention of the police? It could have either been at Primrose Police Station or wherever during your encounters with the police that you got an injury there. Can you please assist me medically? Can you please tell the court around the situation? GWABINI said that what he's going to state is very straightforward. It's not something that he's thinking about. It's something in his head that he knows happened to him. He said, when I said that I was hurt, I was asking to go to the clinic. Mohani said I should leave him. He lifted the jersey. He said his car was actually wet, so the jersey had, stuck to the scar. So when he's lifting it like that, it's an open wound. Can you imagine the pain? He said, I said, it would be better for me not to report this to the police. Then they said they would not be getting arrested by the police who wear the same uniform. So this is Mohani telling him, we're not going to, actually Buthelezi, he said Buthelezi is the one who told him that we're not going to have you go and report us to the police who wear the same uniform as us to have us being arrested by the same people. We are the ones who make arrests. GWABINI said that he went home, then he went to a doctor by the name of Spama in Vosloorus by Engine Garage. We all know how this doctor might actually eventually being hunted. He might be actually being hunted right now as we speak.
We all know. Allegedly, guys.
Allegedly. Remember with Gomezulu mentioning 2 particular doctors. How they swiftly went looking for those doctors. Right now, we can only offer prayers of protection to Dr. Spama.
Lindani Dube, thank you. And thank you. God bless you, man. Let's press the like button, please. We are still here begging for those likes.
So GWABINI said he requested medical attention to be taken to the clinic to Mohani. GWABINI said that it was on the Thursday when he was taken to court. GWABINI said that in 2022, Mohani then called him saying that he wanted him to be in court. This was, the trial had started now. The Senzo Meyiwa trial had begun. 2022, Judge Shipiwa Maumela was the one presiding over the case. He left his numbers with Mohani at 2020 when they arrested him. He says that he came to Pretoria and he actually stood outside the office of the 2 gentlemen. He pointed to Advocate Baloyi and Dr. Sibanda sitting in court. GWABINI said he told them that he knew nothing about the goalkeeper. GWABINI said he told them that maybe something might happen. You know, he told himself that after they called him and invited him to come to court, he said, okay, let me go and see, you know. He said he was fetched by Mulaudzi from Vosloorus. GWABINI said Mulaudzi was not aware that they took a picture of the car at BP Garage. So they took a picture of the car Mulaudzi was traveling in. Can it be a red Golf?
No, it's a BMW.
It's a BMW. I'm just asking. He said they came to the Pretoria. They came to Pretoria court, and he said they went to Baloyi and Dr. Sibanda's offices, the DPP in Pretoria. He was told not to come in first. He was made to wait by Advocate Baloyi. Baloyi asked what the relevance was about these issues and the consultations that took place. For someone who broadcasted Advocate Mshololo's so-called phone call that was made by accused number 5 while he was at Kalagabusha and stuff. Do you guys remember that? Yeah. He put that phone call on blast, on record like that, to make it seem like Mshololo is a dodgy for calling the accused while they were incarcerated, while the accused was the one who made the phone call. Like, it was so weird. It was so weird what he was trying to do with that stunt. But then, for someone who did that, he actually has a problem with Advocate Nisi wanting to know about the consultation that he had with GWABINI. So Mnisi said that the witness himself said he had a lot to say. He cannot stop him from saying whatever is it that they wanted to say. There's nothing secretive about a witness in the state. There's no prosecutor and a witness privilege. He says he knows about a client and attorney privilege. The judge said that there is a prosecutor privilege and an attorney and client privilege. Well, he said that they don't do their things transparently. You know, when they are telling them to stay away from their state witnesses, you know, that's some type of a privilege. Well, there was a back and forth between Umnisi and the judge had a problem with Advocate Nisi, saying that he was constrained in his cross-examination. He felt like that accusation was being thrown at him to be the one who was constraining him in his cross-examination. Well, GWABINI said that the person who came out of Baloyi's office was actually Constable Zungu and another lady. He said he then went inside the office and he told him that he would like to go to court. He said he told him that he had no problem of going to court because he was not afraid of the court. He said he was afraid for his life. The court would recall that earlier on he was told that he was standing between prison and death by Brigadier Gininda. So he said it was said by Gininda, and referring to Muzi's statement, he said that he knew everything. When they got inside the prosecutor's office, the prosecutor was in possession of a statement that was said to be written by him. He read that statement, referring it to him. The judge asked GWABINI, was this the judge who was presiding, or was it another judge who is not as handsome as me? Batung. Batung Babudibu. GWABINI said it was another judge, the elderly gentleman, referring to Judge Shipua Maumel. So Mnisi said that that was not even in dispute.
Where was Lungsan Ndwande gonna in this case mentioned?
As one of the phone numbers that was said to belong to one of the accused, it belonged to Lungsan Ndwande. So the judge said it has everything to do with because Rata Mokwatleng was not a judge. He only became a judge on this case on the 17th of July 2023. Then he asked GWABINI when was he in court, and GWABINI said he was there in 2022. So basically the judge here, I'm sensing him distancing himself from what Advocate Baloyi was doing. I am sensing it. I don't know. It's too early to tell. We can't tell for sure right now. But I sense that the whole discussions there, count me out. I wasn't there. I wasn't here yet. So he read the statement and he referred to him as GWABINI. And he said that when he heard Advocate Baloyi read that statement and actually refer to him as GWABINI, he told him that that's my clan name. My real name is Fiso Zungu. He then read the part of the statement which says Fiso Nkani Zungu Ntuli. Two surnames. And they said that this Fiso Nkani Zungu Ntuli was driving a silver Polo at his premises. But he said no and told them that this is not my statement. So he's trying to tell us that Advocate Baloyi could detect that he did not write that statement. It had a lot of mistakes and errors. But he just decided, you know what? Gyo fela kona. Allegedly.
That's basically how it feels like.
So Mnisi then said, but you saw a signature. And GWABINI said, I said my signature is an S. And GWABINI said, after I left the first time, when I returned a second time, when they fetched me, I told them that they are disturbing me, involving me in cases that don't involve me. Because he said he was saving money. He wanted to get married. The prosecutor is the one who was doing this. The prosecutorially led investigation that Brigadier Gininda hoid in his testimony. He was trying to tell us that I wasn't alone, I guess. So they then said, eventually you will have to come and read the statement because it's you who wrote it. It has your name at the top. The statement was read out and it mentioned Muzi was arrested, then me, and how is it possible that Mafika was included in the statement because he was arrested after me. He said they kicked him out. He went back to Vosloorus and the prosecutor said to him, go and get married and think clearly. He said, I went back home. The third time, he said when he came back, he was already married. They contacted him again. Mulaudzi said that someone from Heidelberg will come and fetch him. And he said that he was delaying him. He said he was tired of the lies being told about him by Constable Zungu. GWABINI said, I was shown where the court is. Mamfundisi said, you dare go in. you will see what you will get. He said he turned right at the door. He was there when Constable Zungu was testifying. He was there at the door of the court. Mamfundisi ati ungalinge ungene laphaya. You dare go in there, you will get what you will get. And see.
Yo, siyabuya. Zibuya ngamanda. Lobuya ngamanda.
Yay.
Tikobu. Ziyabuya. I'm lost. I'm just lost of words. What to say? Emotional damage. That's all I can say.
We are happy for GWABINI that he got this moment. We are happy for him. The truth shall set you free.
It shall.
They can do whatever they want. But okusalayo uGWABINI ulikhulumile iqiniso lakhe uyalikhuluma. He's laying it all on the table.
Here's a question.
I'm listening.
The bullet is alleged to be matching as of now, as we speak. Ooh, the bullet is matching. But the trail of evidence is not matching.
It's not. But when a circumstantial evidence ayayihlangana. Yabona lento yenzwa i-defense manje iyayibhidliza leya circumstantial evidence iyabhidlizeka. Whatever grasping straw that they were holding on to and grasping, it is being shredded to pieces. You can't build a case on circumstantial evidence, despite what the very famous prosecutor is saying about this whole thing of building a case. You can't do that. You do that, you'll end up fabricating evidence against people. You'll put innocent people in jail. If there's no evidence, there's no evidence. Ngamani hlale kwa DPP idocket lingayindawo until evidence is properly collected. I don't approve this thing of taking matters to trial and then you're going to base the entire case on circumstantial evidence. It's a waste of resources. Let the investigators work. And if they're not working, with time they'll be changed. Maybe the new team will do a better job. Who knows? But this thing of building on circumstantial evidence, a lot of people are going to jail without committing crimes. It's wrong. Make sure that you've got solid, concrete evidence. And if you are going to present an accused person with saying you did this, you must have the evidence and say you did this, so that the process is easier. If it's not coming together and you are really struggling, then dedicate those resources in finding the evidence against them. This whole resources that are spent, this thing could have been avoided if you just put those people that were in the house at the police station and you asked them what happened on that night. We wouldn't be here.
So far, if you probably was wondering as to where are we as things stands, we have the ballistic evidence that says yes, according to the states. We have all the witness statements relied upon saying no.
Yes.
They never made that. They never made such statement.
They've retracted.
So Zungu has no collaborator. and Zungu does not put the witnesses, the accused on the house. Okay. So now, the ballistic evidence alone, if there was no debunking of it, cannot convict.
Ngambela.
No.
Sure.
This is up to this point in time. If you were measuring points, the ballistic evidence alone, it proves nothing. All it proves is that the gun is the same gun that shot Senzo.
And provided that it came with open seal bags and stuff.
It only tells you the bullet came from the specific
that the first
firearm.
test was inconclusive. And then somehow it at the second test it became a match.
So it does not prove who fired the gun, whether the accused was present, whether the accused had knowledge, whether there was common purpose, intent. It does not prove that. So even if the bullet matches, the state must still prove the position, identity, participation, intention.
Ntabise Mukete found a silver projectile.
So, you wanted to know where we stand as things stand? In real courts, we stand nowhere.
And then they said she's lying. She was at the kitchen getting a glass of water. Miguel picked up a silver projectile.
So, that is where we are.
And then they said she's lying. Nothing of such happened. Mohlahlo comes in later in the afternoon and finds her own projectiles behind glass jars.
The statement of Zungu is not corroborated. They
No.
are denying Zungu.
All these people that
They
Zungu
are
said
denying
told him
Zungu.
this information are denying. They're denying. All of them, they're denying. They didn't say such to him. They've never said such.
So the prosecutor cannot use the statement to prove guilty, only to cross-examine credibility, which is what BALOYI has been doing. No statement, no eyewitness, no narrative.
Was this worth
There
it?
is no human evidence to the linked accused. There is one person who has been denied also by the people who are supposed to corroborate.
Was it all worth it?
These are the signs of a case that is cooked.
Can we get the people at the house on another case since they botched this one? It's
So the
botched.
state is going to fail to prove prior agreement, active association. So ballistic alone cannot prove this. No link of evidence, no participation evidence, no confirmation of who was there. Then the common purpose collapse. So ballistic without human testimony is insufficient. Courts have repeatedly held that forensic evidence requires supporting human evidence to link the accused to the act. So for those who are interested in reading, they must read the S versus Mkhize, S versus Mulomi, S versus Hadebe, and S versus Zuma. So,
I will be.
without the witness statement, the firearm must be traced to the accused.
And you know what the worst thing that the state did was to make the people that were in the house unable to identify the firearm. because they had identified some of them, said it was a revolver, but they changed it to, I don't know what the gun looks like. And then the lead investigator tells us that, no, they cannot speak on firearms because they are not specialists of firearms. They don't know about firearms. How can they testify what kind of a gun they saw? Because they don't know anything about firearms. So that in itself botched the case.
So the state has to prove the accused possession of the firearm. The accused used the firearm. They must also prove that. The accused was at the scene. They must also prove that. That's why the pointing, the theatrics that were happening. The firearm was recovered in his possession or under his control. If this firearm was found elsewhere, planted, found in another person's control, linked only by alleged statements, then the match means nothing.
Hi. No wonder why Judge Ratam Khatling manje say emphasize. Was I there in 2022? Was I there? Was this handsome judge there?
Let us keep on pressing the like buttons, guys.
It's getting hot.
Let us keep on pressing the like buttons.
It's getting very hot, very tight. The pressure is getting worse.
Do we have one caller? We're done, right?
I'm done, guys.
Yes.
I have nothing else to share. I'm looking forward to the third day of Zungu. Swiso Zungu's testimony. GWABINI.
They are asking you to reach 400.
Oh, 400
Mzansi,
likes.
hello. Yes, sir.
Mzansi
Hello.
Reality, hi.
Yes. How are you, Emily and
We are
Mr.
good.
Ano?
We're good. How are you?
yeah, I just wanna add about what you, Emily, are excited about. No, the judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this guy. I'm no longer trusting the guy because, to my thinking, it's not the first time he do something like this. To my own thinking, the reason why he's asking, I was there or I was involved or I'm this kind of a person is because you will never know. At the end, you will come and say, I actually listened to all the evidence here. People came and testified in this court. I was in this court. And he can also say the other Zungus, they just changing what the story now. I'm listening to the evidence.
You're not alone.
And I was not involved. Yes, I was not involved in whatever Baloyi and whatsoever that happened, whatsoever statement. I was not there. I listened to the evidence that was actually brought in this court. So I believe this and make a judgment. Then the rest will follow.
You know what? He's capable.
That's my
of
2
that.
cents.
He's very much capable of that.
Yeah, he's capable of
You
doing
know
that.
what?
Because to listen to him defending like I was there, and I do listen to the evidence. I do listen to the evidence in court. It tells you that okay, whatever that they are saying they did with Baloyi, he does not care about that. The only thing that he cares is what he had in this court. And he will make a judgment based on what he had in this court. Trust me, the judgment will be based on whatever that people said in the court, not whatever that happened before. That's why he said, I'm a new judge here. I was not there before. So I don't know anything about you meeting Baloyi and doing discussions there. So if you fumble here in this court, I'm done. If they will fumble in the court of Rata, it's a sentence. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
But what do you say about Larata helping, in a sense, when you say helping?
Helping who?
Because that sounds like, to me, you're saying there is a partial person sitting there.
Me.
No, from the argument that I'm hearing.
Yeah. But he is saying that it would be...
Mzanzelo, yes. Please explain. Yes. Sikhona mfethu njani?
Sisemele.
Yes, how are you?
Sisemele, how are you? Yeah, very well, thanks, very well. Yeah, just to top up on the previous speaker anyway, with the judge.
Yes.
If you realize now, there's the talk of, I don't know whether substantial evidence is no longer relevant, because now he speaks, this court is so focused on the death of Senzo Meyiwa. Anything else that is outside whatever is irrelevant. This court will not listen to things that Kool-Aid and whatever. But the one was telling us about Jamerson and all sorts.
Yes.
Now all this is no longer relevant.
Mm-hmm.
So just wondering what that means, whether now GWABINI, which they were assaulted to bring in their statements, is no longer relevant for him. You wonder, okay, what's this case about? Is it not still within the context of investigating around Senzo's death? No, he's focused on the death of Senzo. Although there is an element of, like, the rulings now sort of shifting a bit, so that if anything goes wrong, allegedly, he's not really like sort of seen to be biased. There is an element of shifting away from BALOYI and leaving him like sort of in the open a bit. Could be a wrong assessment, but there's a softness that is there. Those and throwing gestures and whatever have sort of reduced a bit. They are no longer as aggressive as they were before.
Yeah.
And I will leave it at that. And all is alleged.
Yeah, no. We all alleged. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Time will tell.
Time will tell.
With the judge.
Let's see what other people are saying, but time will tell.
Because even with the first caller, him stating that we shouldn't get too excited. For all we know, he could be covering and aligning his tracks to say, I wasn't there in 2022. I could not have been involved in any of these things. I listened to the evidence in court, and according to what I listened to, these witnesses changed their statements.
How do you determine that the statements were changed? Remember, there are witnesses that are arrested and there are witnesses that are coming voluntarily, in a sense. And those are witnesses that the state was supposed to rely on.
Which is why he keeps wanting to say the holding on to the accused having an influence on their testimonies from the dog.
That's what I'm trying to also put across, that there is no escaping. You can't have a case and say, oh, by the way, I listened. What did you listen? Babu Zungu was there. The statement of Babu Zungu was there. You tried to call it useless evidence. Then here's GWABINI, the person who people claim was the one who created the party.
Yes.
He's distancing himself.
He's also more afraid of the police
He's
than
more
he
afraid
is
of
afraid
the
of the
How are you
accused.
going to rule then in favor of the very same people that people are afraid of? That's a question. That's going to be very difficult, no matter how you try to align. To get out of this without a successful appeal, it's highly impossible.
It's going to be challenging.
It's very, very much highly impossible. Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, good, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, Emily.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Yeah.
I'm listening, and you like to say people are desperate for Messiah syndrome. And I'm sorry to accuse you today of having the judge syndrome. you
It kind of kids have a little hope. I mean, that was so spontaneous and out of nowhere to say that. But then now you guys are schooling me that actually don't raise your hopes high with this judge. You can crush your hopes and turn them into dust.
if we had a judge today, Baloyi tried to say if the allegation that was happened yesterday, we can play the record.
Yes.
And you know what the judge did?
He refused.
He swept that thing under the carpet because he knew that there was nothing. So let us not have that judge syndrome that we all hoping for. This man, he believes that this accused, in fact, the allegations that the judgment has been written already. I believe it. He says he's there for the case of unaliving of Senzo Meyiwa. To date, what is it that he can point? If he was listening, what did he hear about the 5 accused being in that house? If he was listening. So, also, Emily, let us not deceive ourselves.
Yeah. True.
Now the truth is biting him. But he can still hear that he's trying. He's trying. But the truth, unfortunately, is biting him. And it's whipping him so bad for everyone to see. I was one of the people that were saying, let's make sure that we recuse him and impeach him. And Mr. Anonymous was always saying, you know what, let's leave this man there. That seat is hot.
Yeah.
Today, I'm making a confession.
Yes,
let's leave him there. Let the truth bang him. These people are so cruel. Did you see the look that Baloyi gave GWABINI when they were going for adjournment?
Yeah.
That evil look. You could see that this man is cruel. And that thing that he was shameful, Mr. Anonymous, no, they were giggling. And that giggle, it was the evil giggle that you don't know who you're talking to, my boy. We will deal with you. Currently, I'm so afraid of what will happen after. Because you could see that evil look that this man, that they don't even show a remorse. They are not even saying, you know what, yes, we tried to cook, but the cooking was not cooking. Let's just leave this thing and release these people and do the right thing.
Yeah.
They are insisting that these people are the right people, and they knew from the onset. When you start beating people up, why do you beat people up? If you have so watertight evidence.
Why?
So, why? Why? So, anyway, the reason for my call was also, Emily, let us not have that Messiah or the judge syndrome.
Yes.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And that's how we end it. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you for pressing the like button. Thank you. We appreciate you guys. Thank you. It's time for us to call it in the morning until today again.
Yeah.
the process continues.
Again,
A
the
luto
struggle
continua.
continues.
Mr. Unknown and Emily, I always ask myself, why is this case still continuing? Because Shamila Batoy and Shadraxby say this case is a mess. Why are they still let this mess continue? Unfortunately, apparently, when these cases starts, anything that is said outside is just a noise, and that's it. It becomes that. The court apparently is not, it's immune to the noise outside.
Yes.
That's basically the short and sweet answer for you. Don't stop pressing that like button. Please don't stop. We appreciate it, even if we switch off here and now, as we do now. But we really appreciate your likes. Come in with the likes. If you didn't go out with the like, appreciate you. Join membership if you can. Subscribe. And that's a bye from me.
It's a bye from me as well, guys. See you later on today.
Thank you.
Thank you.